Plague-bearer Glubtil was not a complex demon. He loved Papa Nurgle, and Papa Nurgle loved him. He loved Glubtil so much, he had given Glubtil the title of Plague Master, the first plague-bearer ever to have that name. Glubtil was out on the hills of Cady one morning, doing what he always did, watching that angry young Abaddon order people around. Glubtil sighed. He knew Papa loved Abaddon, but it never made sense to Glubtil why the Ascended One was always so mad. He got the chance to spread Papa's love, along with those other powerful people in the warp. So why was he always going on about vindication, this, and vengeance, that, and undying conquest, the other thing? Wasn't it enough to just spread the virulent delights of the Death Garden? Just as Glubtil made up his mind to go have a chat with young Abaddon and ask him that very thing, something changed. Glubtil didn't like change much, unless it was showing people how much Papa loved them, but he couldn't tell at first what was going on. A big yellow thing, larger than even old Uncle Bubonicus, jumped over the hill he was standing on. It looked like a big yellow dog, really, and Glubtil stared at it happily. He loved dogs. The dog didn't stop to roll around in the fetid ground, though. He jumped right over them and went straight for that rascal Abaddon's HQ. Glubtil watched, mesmerized, as the big yellow doggy jumped on the top of the building and started yelling a whole lot. If Glubtil still had his ears, it might have hurt. Abaddon the Despoiler, Lord of the Chaos Ascendants, leader of 12 Black Crusades. He still resented Doombreed stealing that 5th one from him. Disciple of the 8-pointed star, and unquestioned leader of the Black Legions, was the nightmare of the High Lords of Terra. His was a name mentioned by parents to terrify their children. He was the only man to have ever refused demonhood, and no human in the galaxy controlled the hosts of the Ruinous Mark as he did. At the moment, however, little of that mattered. For at that moment, Abaddon the Despoiler, first captain of the Black Legion, was getting his shit wrecked by a monster.
Destroy that thing!
He screamed at the Black Legionnaires surrounding him. Several opened up on the 4-legged monstrosity, and sheets of bolts, demonic fireballs, and even a few rockets poured at its flanks. As they approached its sides, the missiles seemed to freeze in mid-air. The demonic fire bounced off its hide, if they reached it at all, with many slamming into the frozen bolts and detonating them. Abaddon roared with hatred and frustration.
I'll kill the bloody thing myself!
He flourished the Talon of Horus, firing its macro stormbolter as he charged. The sword of Drachnien gleamed in his other hand as he sprinted at the beast, with all the strength his ancient artificer armor could lend him. Abruptly, the monster pivoted its massive body to face him, staring down at the War Master with beady, purple eyes. Abaddon leaped at the creature, screaming his defiance. The monster reached one huge leg up and almost casually slapped the flying marine aside. He slammed into the ranks of his own troops, bowling them down like flower stems in a tornado. Dazed, Abaddon scrambled for his sword, and his hand closed around the grip. He rolled to his feet and hefted the blade high, with both hands clenched tight. Before he could charge at that thing anew, however, it reared back on 2 legs and roared.
What the flying buckarants is this?
Abaddon nearly dropped his demon sword in shock.
What?
You heard me, you disgusting traitor. How dare you follow my favored son into damnation?
Abaddon shook his head.
You'll not fool me, demon! I know you to be a beast of the warp, trying to usurp me. I shall be the one to lead the host of the taint to Terra. I'll carve your eyes from your skull!
He charged forward as fast as his legs could take him,
You'll do no such thing, you pissant failure.
The monstrosity roared and slammed its forelegs into the ground. 130 tons of muscle and bone crashed into the ground, and Abaddon stumbled to a halt, mere meters from the colossal beast. It swept its head down to ground level and tossed the power-armored Chaos Champion aside like a ragdoll.
You sit down while your betters are speaking, Abaddon.
It roared. Abaddon crashed into the ground with a sound like a crack grenade going off in a piano store.
I've no interest in your weakness, but if you're so sure you want to hold my attention...
It jumped forward, clear over the crumbling HQ building, and landed with its massive feet together, square on Abaddon's shoulders. Abaddon screamed in sudden, terrorized agony as his limbs tore from their sockets with a sickening crash. The huge creature took a few steps backward, scraping Abaddon's arms off on the rockcrete.
Do you see now your folly? You turned from my path and followed horse into failure. And now you have no arms to lift in defiance of my will.